action.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Recording.
What?
Why do you think teachers are mean or annoying? Hi, I'm Hope Heathley.
Hi, I'm Imani Bragg.
Hi, my name is Toriana.
Hi, my name is Victoria Coney.
Hi, I'm Kamora Mullins.
Hi, I'm Mia Barry.
And we are Life's a Pitch. Today, we are going to talk about something many students experience: mean teachers.
Did you know that in the United States that about 3.1 teachers are reported to be mean teachers or do poor actions towards students? In my past school years, I got into an argument with a teacher and she ended up cutting my fingers with a part of a metal chair. It got her fired and me still traumatized by it.
For our last question of the day, who was the worst teacher you had for the school year? And what did they do to become the so-called worst teacher?
Do you think teachers act the way they do because of past experiences?
Well, I think yes, some teachers do, because some teachers say they're tired of how kids act, where they just want to just do the job. They don't care about if kids learn or nothing. They just want to do the job, get the money, go home. So, yeah.
How are students affected by their teachers' behavior?
Well, I'll say, like, some teachers, they'll be, like, cool with it. They'll try to be the students' friends and stuff. The students, so if the teachers get mad and stuff, the students, what they'll do, like, they'll try to make the class laugh and stuff. Because back when I was, like, in 4th grade, my teacher, Mrs. Malari, she's, like, one of the top teachers, and she's on the teacher leaderboard and stuff. And we made her cry because they kept agitating her, doing bad stuff, and everybody was like laughing while she's crying. So like certain things, if the teachers get mad, the students will react like they'll start laughing, start being goofy and stuff, and don't care.
I personally believe that some students may be affected negatively by their teacher's behavior. For example, when I was this past year in 8th grade, one of my teachers was called something really mean and she didn't agree with it. So she decided to triple the workload and it made everyone more stressed. And I personally didn't get any sleep and it wasn't a great time in my life. So I guess students will be affected either positively or negatively by the way their teachers behave or how they decide to, give out work and assignments and stuff.
Imani, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you said that your teacher, she was called something. What do you think that it was necessary for her to give that much work, or do you think she was just overreacting?
I do think she was called sexist, basically, by some group of boys, I think. And I feel as though she gave more work because she felt that, I'm giving too many second chances, and, this is my way of showing my students that I'm not to be messed around with or whatever. I don't think that she was right in giving us more work if her being called sexist was the motivation for her giving more work. She wasn't, okay. She was called sexist, so she could have handled it better, is what I'm trying to say. She could have been overreacting. I personally think she was just overreacting a tad bit, but she could have handled it better.
How do you, as a student, feel about mean teachers in our school system?
Well, so when I was in pre-K going through like 2nd grade and stuff, the school was like great. The school year was great, but since like we've been getting older and stuff, I feel like these past years, the principal, the CPS system needs to have like, not just bring any type of students in and then blame the kids for what they do. They bring these kids into the school, not our fault. Kids in the schools, they need like leaders and stuff, not bad leaders, good leaders that could show them like it's time to play, time to work. That's why I tell my best friend Latanya. Now it is hard to like tell certain people that stuff because you don't want to hurt their feelings and stuff. But that's how I feel.
I do agree with Mia when she says that in our school system or in our social hierarchy, we have a tendency to produce cliques and to make ourselves feel powerful or whatever. And I do believe that in the coming years, like in high school and 8th grade, 7th, whatever, you have to be more of a leader than a follower, because I've seen so many kids at my old school just succumb to like this new norm that was set by some popular kid in school, and it caused so much trouble. Like, so many kids were, I don't want to say they weren't corrupted per se, but they had just changed to fit, the social structures of these cliques. And they weren't mean children. They weren't mean. They were just troublemakers. And I think, yeah, it was interesting to see like how someone I knew in 2nd grade who was kind and compassionate changed to like this popular jerk type person who like bossed kids around and called them mean names, and it was crazy. Yeah.
Imani, I see exactly what you mean, because like as kids get older, my principal said, like, they start changing. She said, like, around 5th and 6th grade, they start doing things that they really know they're not supposed to be doing, and they start following certain people and certain things that they really might even not want to do. They just want to fit in and act all cool. So yeah. I see exactly what you mean.
And one more thing for this particular question. The younger kids in my school, when they were like when they was in pre-kin, so I like agree with Hope. They're changing over the years because what they see older kids do and stuff. Yeah. But I feel like the kids these days, they do certain stuff because the teachers have certain rules that doesn't allow them to have like that certain freedom. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's a little based off the teachers, and it's making the kids have a whole different perspective, if I said that right, of school and stuff.
Yeah, I have a comment on that as well. Teachers, I think in recent years at my old school, like, the older you get, the more confined you feel. Like when you were younger, you were like, you had nap time and all this playtime and stuff, and it was fun. And then when you're older, you're just like, okay, I have to sit at a classroom, like at a desk for hours on end, and nobody wants to do that. No one ever wants to do that, but that's how you have to do it. And then teachers, they're just like, they give all these rules, and I get that not everyone wants to conform to them because it's hard to conform to those rules. Yeah. Here you go.
One more thing for me. I agree with you because when we were like younger at our school, we used to have these Halloween parties, Valentine's Day parties, all that give out candy. Now when we have and when we were young, we used to wear out of uniform and stuff. But now that we're older, we don't have field day no more. We can't even pass out candy and stuff, and the lunchroom. So when we were younger, we used to have our teachers, our assistant teacher, he used to his name is Mr. Moran, our like assistant gym teacher. He used to have this little just like that, but it's bigger, that sells candy, chips, juices and stuff, and now that's changed because they say they want to have a healthier school. But if they want to have a healthier school, look what the food they're serving us and stuff. That's not healthy. That if you want to serve, there's plenty of ways to sell to give kids healthy food. It doesn't have to be food out the freezer and stuff. That's what kind of pizza look like that? That's
that pizza is messed
what like that's. There are different ways to make healthy pizza that make kids actually want to eat it. Like they took that away from us. It was a lot of things they took away from us, and like our school is just like kind of depressing.
Yeah. I mean, with that food thing in mind, like I've seen so many of my friends like just throw away their lunches. They'll be like, okay, this food is disgusting, I'm not gonna eat it, and they just don't eat. And they're like, do you have any food? Do you have any food? And I'm like, no, I don't have any food. Like, I ate the school lunch, and, it was unappetizing, but I ate it. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do.
School lunch, it's like some days they're gonna have something pretty good, like little chicken nuggets. But like,
And a little fruit.
they're kind of dry.
I like the fruit.
I do like their fruit. Sometimes they have decent stuff. Sometimes have little slushies, but not real. But
Slushies are
yes.
But when they served the slushies, they had like spicy, like extra spicy.
Oh
sauce.
yes, I had those. They were like in a little thing.
What we did is
yes.
only ate half of it, was just the good part, and left the spicy stuff, threw it away.
Yeah, it was pretty spicy, but like school lunch, I just drink a bunch of milk. I love chocolate milk.
I do that too.
I don't like cow's milk, but I just love chocolate milk. I like almond milk.
Yeah.
My favorite thing.
Yes, I love my little straw. I cannot drink without a straw.
Yes, that's how
Yeah.
I can't drink without a straw.
Yeah.
It's so funny though. It's like at my school, my friend, he would like run a chocolate milk trading business. Like for real, like he would like go in to the thing and he'd like get chocolate milk and he'd stuff some in his pockets and he'd like have extra, and he'd be like, yo, can I get your chocolate milk? I'll trade you this such and such for your milk. And then when I tell you, he like disperse this chocolate milk to like everybody. Like, you want some? Okay, give me your sandwich on Tuesday. Here's milk. It was insane.
That needs to be me.
Right?
Cause they're like, Soap, you need to stop. You have like an obsession with this. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna stop. If I don't have a school lunch, like if I don't have my own lunch at home, I don't feel like making it. Like we usually have the supplies, like to make the lunch, but I just don't feel like making it.
Right.
But if I don't want to eat the school lunch, I really want to drink my chocolate milk. They're like, no, Hope. Oh my God, that's unhealthy. Like I don't care. It's good.
Right.
And this is one time where our teacher, like Dr. Judy, I'm sorry if Dr. Judy listened to this, whatever, I really don't care. You need to hear this. Dr. Judy made us throw away all of our home lunch and made us eat the school lunch.
What?
Yes. She threw away the chips, all that. We were like, what are you doing? Some of the kids were like, you can't, like, pulling away from her to get their stuff back because that's our property. So some of us, like, hid in our pockets and stuff. Knowing, like, they can't touch us, get in our pockets and stuff.
That's awful.
She was like, though, she could help us in our education, but, like, you don't have to...
Exactly. Like, it's not her place
Right.
to take away your lunch. It's not. And I mean, I get that she may want to advocate for, like, a healthier lifestyle for kids, because, Chicago, America in general, we don't really have the healthiest eating, style. But, it's not her place to, take away something that you want to eat that you brought from home or you bought with your own money. That's not okay.
When I was, I think this was... Yeah, I was getting my hair done. This was from a TV. It was an episode of Horrid Henry. It's on Netflix. Yeah. So there was this lady. She was a big lady. And so Henry, he brought his own lunch because he was getting sick and tired of the school lunch. And he went inside the room where all the kids had the lunch. And there was this big lady. She was like, no, you're going to give me all your sweets and all your lunch. And she just take the lunch like crazy. And, like, that was rude. I didn't like that. That was mean. She taking all their sweets. So, the one time, they brought only healthy foods. And so, she didn't take it that time. So, that was pretty cool.
We
Rebel.
can't even sell candy in our school. We can't sell...
We used to do that. At
our school, no, we can't sell.
At my old school. At my school, there was this lady. Her name was Miss Hegwood. She was a gifted counselor or something. She used to sell like chips and juice and stuff. She used to sell it. But when she left, I don't know what happened because they're probably supposed to like carry the tradition, and like it just stopped. So that was upsetting.
Okay, so while we're on this topic of mean teachers, right? So my question to everyone is, if you were a new teacher, like coming into this new school with these kids that you've never met before, and they were intentionally rowdy, they like didn't listen, they were disrespectful, whatever. As I know, some of our classmates may have been, well, if you were a teacher coming into a type of environment like that, would you act the same way as some of your teachers that you've had that you certify as mean or annoying? And could you possibly find a way to sympathize with them?
On the first day, I would be like, I would talk to them. I would be like, I strictly for your education, but at the same time, like, yo, I'm not like the one to play with.
Right.
And that's why people didn't listen to her. She didn't have much authority.
Yeah.
So that was really the thing with her. And she wanted people to listen to her, I could tell. One time she had to scream so much that she lost her voice. And she just didn't have much authority over any situations. So one time I got hit on the shoulder just randomly by some boy. But I made them apologize. Like, she really didn't do much about it. So she was like, and then he just laid on the floor. So I smacked him. It's like, Hope. And, like, I had to call my own mom because she didn't call my mom for me. And she was like, oh, okay. Nothing even really happened to him. She's like, oh, because this dude, he was like dealing with depression. She's like, oh, he's just going through stuff. And I told her, can you speak to my mom, please? And she's like, she went on the phone, she's like, oh, he's just going through some stuff. That's really not an excuse because you did it to me so randomly. I never did anything to you. I knew the dude since kindergarten, but we're friends now, but still friends, but that was unnecessary. She didn't have us control the situation. And she would let people respect her. I respect her, but she can just do stuff.
In my old school, I remember in my old school called Freedom Academy. My first day was there. I went to Spanish class. In my first period, I did something wrong, and I burned my tablet, and then Mr. Muhammad, he told me that you cannot bring like phones, video games, like something like that. But I was almost got in trouble, but then they gave me like detention for 5 days, cause I should not bring anything for class. Cause also I chewed gum. I used to be like a troublemaker when I was little, but I didn't not what I'm supposed to do.
So, Toriana, when you say that you were a troublemaker, were some of your teachers like outright, like, were they mean to you? Like, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
They were mean because there was one time that I didn't want to go to my old school because that Miss Nikki, she always get me in trouble every time if I don't do my work, because I always get distracted. I always being mean to other teachers because I always talk back. Fighting at the gym. So I didn't want to do that, but I just want to be a good kid. But some of these teachers just really don't trust me and doing what I'm supposed to do. So Miss Katie, and Miss Nikki and Mr. Marcus, those three didn't like me because I was being like a troublemaker.
So, if you had a choice, would you go back in time? Like, just say time travel was a thing. Would you go back in time and would you be able to see things from their perspective? Like, would you be able to see, like, how they were trying to reprimand you? And like, would you be able to see that as a good thing if it put you on a path to change?
I really don't know, but I guess yes, cause I need to say sorry to the teachers that I did from the past when I was like 6 and 7 years old. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Like, say sorry to the teachers for what I did.
I wouldn't actually like be mean to the students, but I would be like, we can be cool, but like don't try me. Like we can be cool and all, but you still have certain things, certain privileges. But once you get out of hand, there will be consequences,
Okay.
and certain things will happen. But just yeah.
Yeah, of course. That totally makes sense, because everyone has to be held accountable for, otherwise we'd have no society. We'd just be, all.
Discipline.
Yeah, no discipline, because discipline is very important in an everyday society, especially in school, because it prepares us for life. I know that sounds cliche, but it does prepare us for certain aspects in our life where we have to be responsible.
Also, one more thing. One more thing. I think there was like a church school that I used to call. It's called Oakdale Christian Academy. I used to be a good kid, but three boys was trying to bully at me at the gym, and then I didn't know. I didn't tell the teacher. I didn't tell anything. I was just like ignoring them, and then I didn't want it to fight. I didn't want them to fight back, but the only thing I can do is to tell the teacher. But I made a choice, but I didn't do that. The gym teacher didn't saw me. The other kids didn't saw me. Yeah, there was no choice that I didn't want to pick, but I didn't say nothing. I was just being quiet.
Well, for one, I wouldn't want to be put in that same sort of category. Like, I want to be a sort of teacher that, like, every, like, kid from, like, even high school, so, like, if I'm a middle school teacher, I'm a high school teacher, I want kids to, like, come up to me and be like, hey, what's my last name? Miss Mullins or whatever, and like come up to me, because like I think I have a teacher. He was my 7th grade. His name was Mr. Peters, and like he would always be like a real cool teacher. Like, and he would know how to be strict, but not in a mean way. Just like act like a kid, and then he would also know how to like teach real good. And he would always have like visitors, cause like people's parents come up talk to him. 6th graders, 8th graders, high schoolers, and it was kind of cool. And for me, I think that I'll probably like find some sort of way to like connect, but not in no like real cheesy, phony way, in that where the students not gonna like me, cause I was once a student just like them, so I wouldn't want to like be mean towards them or anything like that.
If I were like a new teacher going into teaching older kids, what my teacher, Miss Walker, would do, she'll give them candy so they could listen. So that's what I would have done. And we're like so good in her class. That's our favorite class. So I would do that. I would give them some candy so they could listen.
Interesting enough, I relate with both Hope and Kumara. Like, I had a teacher who was in 6th grade. She was somewhat of a, what you would call a pushover. Like she tried to have authority, and then she couldn't attain it. And, after a while, she just kind of gave up and, ended up giving us, like, packets about, like, natural disasters and stuff, and she didn't really try to engage with us in her classroom. And then, on the other hand, in 7th and 8th grade, I had my social studies teacher, who was ironically the same lady who had given us so much work. She was the one who students felt they could relate the most to. Like, they felt as though they could come to her with anything, like all their personal problems, whatever. And it's very interesting. Like, Mia, you said that your teacher had once given candy to students, and it's interesting because I think students often affiliate gifts and candy and whatever with, someone being a good teacher, And sometimes that's the case, sometimes they do it to win over their favor, and then they just show how much of a good teacher or good person they are or whatever. But for me personally, it wouldn't be about like the candy. It'd be like what I learned from them. It'd be like, what can I may not like your tactics, but what can I take away from your class? Like what am I learning on a daily basis? Like what can I use in the coming years of my life? So I guess for me, it isn't really about, gift giving or whatever. It's more about like what I learned from them and what I can take away with me, Like I may not like you sometimes, but I do enough, but I can respect you, So, yeah.
I have a teacher. This is my first grade teacher. I had some problems with her. She just the way I sat. Because I sat in a certain way that she apparently did not like. So I wrote a letter to her. And she had to write letters to our parents how our year was going. But this teacher, she was kind of annoying. She's kind of mean sometimes, but I got over it. But I wrote in the letter that she was violating my rights. And she was being mean to me. But now, she was, kind of doing things to a lot of people. But, right now, people have a lot of respect for her. I do, too. But she does certain things for us. She, gets us chips. Sometimes she just things for our birthdays. But we have to bring her back, some cupcakes or something. She's pretty cool now. So, yeah. I respect her.
I can't relate when you it's not in the same good way, but when you said you wrote something to your teacher, because I remember one of my teachers, in 6th grade, she really annoyed me, and I kept bothering her, so we kind of had a kind of battle, kind of on and forth. So she would try to take control of me, then I would go back and forth for her as if she was my equal, even though she wasn't. And so then I remember she gave me a slip because she had a concern. She gave it to my mom, and I had to bring it back. And on the way home, I was writing in the back seat on the paper all these mean things about her. And then I think I called her an a-hole, something like that. And then I wrote some other words on the side. And I said, "You're a mean teacher," where it said, "Sign your parents' signatures," like that. And I wrote it right there with my name. And then I think my mom returned it, and then they had a long conversation. And then ever since when I came back in class, she just wouldn't talk to me that much. And she would ignore me, I guess, because she didn't want me to say nothing to her.
So, as we reach the end of our episode segment thing, I just want to ask one thing. If you had to encounter your so-called mean teachers again in life, and you had to tell them one thing that you took away from their class, what would it be? Would it be a positive thing? Would it be a negative thing? Would it be something oh my gosh, you helped me, learn this and this and this, So just something to close out.
Something I took away from her is she has a presence where don't try her. She knows how to relate with you and stuff, but don't try her like that. But you can be cool with her, but don't try her.
So Hope, do you want to be that kind of person in life? Do you want to have an aura or a presence that's just I'm cool with you, I can relate with you, but don't try me. Yeah. I guess one thing that I've taken away from that teacher that gave me so much work was that was how to manage my time, because me, I'm an awful procrastinator. I procrastinate on the daily. It's just part of my nature. And she taught me really how to she taught me how to she taught me how to manage my time, most importantly. She taught me how to make the most out of limited resources. She taught me how to she taught me how to work with what I have, And also I was ever the overachiever. So I was working really hard in her class, and one day she just sat me down and she was like, Imani, like, I love your work ethic. I love your work ethic, but this is only 8th grade. Sometimes you gotta slow down, and it's okay to take a break and not give it your 100%. And I looked at her and I was like, but what do you mean? Like, I had this mindset. I still have this mindset where like I have to give everything, like my all. Otherwise it's like never gonna be good enough to turn in, to hand in. Like I'd spend hours like worrying how to write a certain paragraph of an essay, and I'd just be like, what am I doing this for? And she taught me, how to, like take my time, but also how to do things in a pinch, because she'd give us like this insane little amount of time. But yeah, I guess that's what I took away from her. Yeah, it wasn't, her class was okay. I'd never take it again in my life, but it was okay.
A teacher that I will remember forever will be like my parents, because they taught me how to learn. Like, it's like so many things they taught me that right now like, I get what you're saying. You just have to your work has to be like, or you can't turn it in. My classmates, they used to talk about me because if I make one mistake on my paper, I need a whole new paper and stuff. When we have projects, I go all out when I have projects. I do glitter, I do all that. And they used to talk about me. I'm like, you can't do that, because I want to be above, and you just want to be average, and I'm trying to be above here. Like, I'm not on you. You stay right there, and I want to be up there. I want to show the teachers, like, if you could give me somewhere, I'll finish it. It's this one time where I had like, it was like 20 papers I had to do for homework and stuff for our class, and I was sitting in my room crying, stressing out, but I still got the work done. I got 100 on it.
Good job.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for listening for our StoryArts podcast.
Do it again.
Thank you for listening to our StoryArts podcast.
Yeah. We are.
That's gonna be a blooper show today.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, Victoria, you
want to do it?
Yeah.
Be like, thank you for listening. We are like
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We are Life's a Bitch.
Yay!
All right.
And stop.
Stop button.
Go square.
Thank you for listening to the StoryArts podcast.
Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and to our podcast.
Want to learn more about this podcast project in our summer camp? Visit StoryArtsChicago.org.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios, amigos.